Jack Brown, yo! Alright, hopefully this is working, guys. It's a bit of a delay. And hey Miguel. Hopefully this is working. It's 12 PM here in the UK. Yeah, man, very well. Hope you're well too. Guys, if this is working, just let me know in the comments that you're seeing things okay. This is my first time using an OBS program. I'm not the world's biggest streamer. You guys know that. So this is a first for me. It's been a massive learning curve, but it's been good. It's been really good. It's kind of nice to know that this stuff exists and it makes things a lot easier for multiple screen stuff, because obviously I need a multiple screen to show you guys this little video today before the Q&A and showing you guys some of the Samurai Spawn stuff. So that all seems to be working. So guys, as you're coming in, welcome. Thank you for joining me today on this live stream. This is something very new and very different. So as you see there is the beginning of the clip that I filmed with Logitech back in September. And this is for the Inside My Blue Room, Welcome to My Blue Room campaign that they're doing. So I had the privilege to be using the Yeti X Blue mic, which is right here, this bad boy, and also their Logitech Stream Cam, which is what you're seeing right now. So I'm very lazy when it comes to upgrading my tech and updating my tech. So typical bloke, I just get very lazy and leave everything to the last minute. So it's been amazing using this stuff. It opens up a world of possibilities, much like using an OBS program. It's been really eye-opening. So I'll just give it a couple of minutes. Just let some more people enter the live stream, and then I'm going to show you guys the clip. Hopefully it'll work. Then after that, just briefly touch on, the filming experience with Logitech, which was just amazing. Awesome crew to work with. And then I'm going to show you guys Samurai Spawn. What's been going on with Samurai Spawn? I've got some pieces laid out here, which I'm very excited to show you. I'm finally back at it. In terms of the build, because goodness, I think I stopped. Well, I put a pause on the build a couple of months ago just to take care of some other stuff and orders, commissions, videos, stuff like that. And Samurai Spawn has always been one of those things where I'll do it in my own time. I'm not really doing videos, so to speak. Hello from Canada. Canada. I want to go to Canada one day. Wayne Van Dyck. All right, guys, we're all coming in. Hey there from USA. Kevin Santana, shouted you out, buddy. All right, sweet. Everyone's saying everything's perfect. Yes, I did it. I did something right. All right, cool. Greetings from Manchester. Oh, so that's just lovely. Oh, guys, you're all coming in. Hey, Sammy. Oh, guys, this is beautiful. All right. It's better, man. Hey from Nashville. Cool. All right. Things seem to be working. This is amazing. I can't believe it. All righty. So I'm going to open up the OBS program and start playing the video. There is a bit of delay. Hopefully it should work. I'm going to keep really quiet during the video because I did a test yesterday and I found if I spoke during playback of the video, my laptop's like, no, this is too much, man. You're speaking into here. We're trying to play a video. It's like too much. So without further ado, this is a minute in my Blue Room that I filmed with Logitech. Let's give it a crack.
Hey guys, my name's Chris Stanley, aka Cosplay Chris, and welcome to my Blue Room. I didn't really have a plan in mind. I started the YouTube channel in 2014, and since then it's taken me to LA, where I've had the opportunity to do some work over there, even in the Middle East, in Kuwait. being part of a convention there. It's definitely been the best decision in my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I have parents reach out, fathers saying, my son and I worked on a Star Wars figure and we followed your tutorial. Here are the photos before and after, and that's great. You definitely do need to listen to your audience because that's why they stick around. It's amazing to see that you're inspiring people, and that's what I love, is just there's no phoniness about it. I want to capture what I'm feeling, and hopefully that translates through. And I think that's just what it's all about at the end of the day. I'm just showcasing what I love doing.
Like I said, guys, you can go to the Blue Microphone Facebook page. They've sponsored the post, so it's been doing the rounds. And yeah, you can see the unchoppy version in its entirety. So definitely means I do need a better setup. So the filming went down in September. It was a couple of hours out in the workshop. The crew came out. They were amazing, and it didn't even feel like work. It was just shooting the breeze and talking tech, talking shop, just exchanging notes with, you know, what they do, what I do. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then obviously demonstrating the use of the Logitech Stream Cam and the Yeti X Blue microphone, which are just amazing. So I obviously do have the built-in camera in this laptop, and it's just a camera. But then with the Stream Cam, it's just, the thing's widescreen, the thing's beautiful. So guys, start posting your questions in the comment section. So whilst I'm showing you guys Samurai Spawn, if you've got a question about cosplay, prop building, you know, what I do, anything like that, please post a question in the comments section. We're going to be going till about 11:30 this morning, so it's plenty of time to talk shop, talk craft, all that jazz. So, Samurai Spawn, here we go. This is one of the shoulder pieces that I've been working on. So initially, this is one of the first pieces I started working on, was the shoulder pieces. So the rest of the costume is back there. And it's based on a McFarlane toy from, I'm pretty sure it was 2001. And I got it when I was a kid. Got it from, it wasn't known as EB Games back then. It was Electronics Boutique. That's what it used to be called back in the heyday, back in the 30s and 40s when they still had horse and carts. And I love that figure. It wasn't based on anything from the comic books, from the Spawn comic books. Todd McFarlane just came up with this line of figures that was samurai themed. You know, you got clown, Spawn, etc., but samurai variations. And I loved it. I loved the aesthetic of that figure. Even though there was so much going on with the costume, I still really wanted to give it a crack. And it was always in the back of my head, like, you know, for several years. So I figured this would be my passion project where I, you know, wouldn't be doing heaps of video updates. This would just be for me. And I've got the figure out there in the garage. It is so dusty. It is worn. It is used. But that's my main reference point. And I'll be going up to like Spotlight or Lincraft, stuff like that, with this figure in my hand. And I'm just like standing in the aisle at Lincraft in the fabric section. I'm like, and people are just looking at me like, why is a 31-year-old man holding an action figure in Spotlight? So, but it's great reference. So it's basically made out of EVA foam from Bunnings Warehouse, like the yoga mat foam you can get, and painted. I did all the engraving, scoring work, did all the stitching here with a rope, and it's just lined with like a fake forks fur, stuff like that. So still tinkering with the idea how to attach them. Like there's going to be a rigging system throughout the shoulders because, perfect segue, the bicep armor has to attach to the shoulder. So it's got to be probably just a series of Velcros and stuff like that. Much in the vein of the Witcher armor. I think that's the best way to put it. Howdy, Tom. Hello, mate. So yeah, this is probably the latest part of the build, as well as something else which I'll show you guys in a minute. Bicep armor. So it's two pieces. They're just held together with sewing pins right now on my mannequin. This is a mannequin of me that I had myself scanned and then milled out in foam, which was a lot of fun, and it's just been the best investment ever. This thing, it's just an amazing tool. So it's probably going to be one side is glued, the other side will be Velcro closure, but it will also Velcro onto the undersuit. I still don't know what to do for the undersuit. Tinkering with a few textured fabrics, but that's it for now. Now, these are something I'm really proud of. With the costume, with the figure, sorry, he has claws. And with the costume, I wanted big, gnarly claws, almost to the point where the scale is not right. It's these overgrown hands, kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember salad fingers. or like the Slender Man. Just something your eye doesn't like because it's just so off-putting because the hands are so big and creepy and like Mr. Burns like. So these were some cheap Halloween gloves I got off eBay. They were originally Rex, they're supposed to be devil's hands. Sprayed them black with Plasti Dip. Because these are latex, and Plasti Dip is latex based, it just stuck to them. And I do need to go back in and use white Plasti Dip on the claws and then brown up the claws just so there's a variation there and they're not all black. This is a cheap leather gardening glove, got from Bunnings. Now, if you see the skulls here, these are actually castings from an existing Spawn McFarlane toy that I had. He stands about that tall. Some of you guys may have seen him in previous videos hanging around in the background. He's like got the cape and swooshing the cape around, and this is his belt buckle. I took a silicone mold of the belt buckle and cast them up so as if it's like little bronze skull knuckles that he'd have on there. And the forearm armor is made of the same EVA yoga mat foam as the shoulder pieces. And the engravings here are done with a wood burning kit. And I got this wood burning kit from Bunnings and it's got interchangeable heads. And it is the most addictive thing I have ever bought because you can do these intricate, beautiful patterns with just a stamp. Boom, done. And especially for something like samurai armor that can be quite intricate and detailed and tell a story, it just worked in my favor. And it's, again, like the mannequin, it's an amazing tool to have. And not just for samurai armor, but like other armor builds and stuff like that. So the big bone claw here, or metal bone claw here, is balsa wood. Just got a big thick block of balsa wood from Bunnings and carved this bad boy out. I didn't want it smooth. I did a prototype of a smooth blade, but I like the organic nature of this. It looks almost like a bone, like kind of Wolverine's bone claws, something to that effect. And then these fellas here, ground out of balsa wood as well, and then sprayed with a metallic Dulux. And obviously backtrack. I got supercast resin and coated them with resin. Otherwise, if you use a metallic paint straight on balsa wood, it's going to absorb it straight in because that wood is so dry. Now, last bit of update for Samurai Spawn, and this is one I'm really proud of. This is the belt and the tunic. So, okay, it's very heavy. See right here, you see these panels? I took a mold of my washing basket. I just remember going into the bathroom one day and seeing the washing basket and thinking, that's an interesting texture. I have no idea what I'll use that for, but I want to mold it. And this was several months ago. So I took a mold of one side of the washing basket and the mold just sat there. The silicone mold just sat there for a couple of months. And then the more I started working on Samurai Spawn, I thought, I think I could use this. This will be good. So I did a casting. What I did was I brushed gold powder, pigment powder, into the silicone mold. And this is a 40 Shore urethane. This is FlexiCast, 45 Shore. This is FlexiCast 45 from Barnes. Poured it in the mold and brushed it so you'd have open holes here. So it looks like chainmail almost. And then this is like a trimming you can get from Spotlight. When I took it out of the mold, glued this baby around just so it's got like a perimeter and stuff like that. And I just think it works perfectly. So if I try it on, I do have pants on, by the way. I just got really short shorts on. So he's going to go like that. So really happy with it. This is cast in supercast. So this is a solid resin, but I may actually swap it out for either a flexible foam or a flexible urethane, because once the armor's on, and say you're at a con and you bend over, something like that, these may snap. Like there is quite a lot of, there's decent thickness there in the horns, but it's still what's to stop you from really bending down and the tip here snap off. So that's my only concern is I would like to go back in with a flexible foam or do a slip cast with flexible urethane and back it up with a flexible foam. The only problem then is painting the urethane, because painting urethane is just absolutely ridiculous. So that is what's happening at the moment. In terms of the mask slash helmet, which was designed by my good friend Henry Creations, who is a beyond talented man and belongs in Ironhead Studio in Van Nuys in Hollywood. That's going to be 3D printed by my good friend Jakey of JTS Cosplay here in Sydney. So it's 3 pieces, and Henry did a wonderful job designing the tusks, because we wanted that that look. It's half organic spawn head and half organic samurai helmet, if that makes sense. So it's going to be printed 3 pieces, put it together, do the body work, stuff like that. And then the cape clips, there will be cape clips on either side, because there will be a big flowing, dirty, disgusting, burnt cape as part of it. So, with that being said, let's get to some questions. It's question time. Okay, first one comes from my good friend Brian. Brian and his wife Rachel are based in Melbourne, good cosplay friends of mine. What's the best way to go about a 2-tone urethane casting? The best I can relate to is when I did a Superman emblem last year. Obviously, you need the red and the yellow, or in the black suitcase, the silver and the black. So with the red and yellow, it was 2 different colored urethanes. With the black and the silver parts were brushed in powder. And then I clean up the silicone mold to make it all nice and sharp, just so there's no powder spilling over to where black urethane should be. Those are your 2 options, man. In terms of painting urethane properly, you really need to invest in something like Imperial surfaces, which is next to impossible to get into the country, as I've had that problem with Star, trying to get Star into the country to, he's behind Samurai Spawn, paint the Mandalorian helmet, because that's what they used to paint the helmets and the armor for the show, was Star from Imperial Surface. And you do have to mix, oh god, I forget the name that Imperial Surface, the name of the stuff that Imperial Surface use, but you have to essentially mix your own stuff together. But once it sticks to the urethane, it bonds instantly and it flexes with it. You can chrome urethane with this stuff, and the chrome will mirror and flex with the urethane. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So that would be my best advice. So, okay. Got a question here from Nick. What's your number 1 tip for someone planning to work with foam armor for the first time? Dude, prepare yourself for so many offcuts in your workspace and gluing stuff to yourself. Like, there were times where I was working on the Alexios armor for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And that was the first time I'd ever properly used EVA foam. And it was so addictive. Because you're doing a lot of trial and error. I was making these templates from scratch for the torso armor. They're just offcuts everywhere. And it got to the point where I'd finish up and there'd be a piece of foam like stuck to my arm, and pull that off, pull hair off. It was great. So, number 1 tip, have fun with it, man. EVA foam is so much fun to use, and it's cheap. That's the great thing. You can have so much of the stuff, and if you stuff up a little bit or a big bit, it's no big deal. It's great if you've got templates. So put in the extra hard yards and pre-make yourself a set of templates for whatever you're doing. So if something stuffs up, you just grab the template, grab a fresh piece of foam, whack it on, and you're done, ready to go. And also seal it up with Plasti-Dip. So you hit it with a paint stripper gun, a heat gun, and you'll see it on the foam, like the pores close up and it goes a bit shiny. And then spray it with Plasti-Dip. And that is just going to prep the surface for the paint that you use, much like when I was painting the balsa wood spikes for Samurai Spawn. I had to seal it up with a resin because it's just too porous and dry. And the paint, you won't get the desired effect of the paint that's on the can. You know, it may look like this, but on the foam or the balsa wood, it looks completely different. So that's my best advice. So, and just, like I said, have fun with it, man. Don't make it a chore. If you're getting annoyed with it, walk away. Walk away for a bit, walk away for a day, walk away for a week, walk away for a month. Hell, I walked away from Samurai Spawn for several months. And now I've come back and I'm so excited. Not to say that I wasn't excited. I'm like, okay, time to put this away for now. I've got other stuff to do. I'll come back to it when I'm ready because there's no deadline for it. So yeah, that's definitely the best advice I can give you. Are you still working on Hawaiian shirt vacation, Mando? I love that, Hawaiian shirt vacation, Mando. I am. So pretty much all that's left to do is get a Hawaiian shirt. So I also speak of the devil, who left a comment. My good friend Benny Ball. He has a gorgeous little daughter by the name of Evie, and my idea was to have the Hawaiian shirt with the baby front knapsack. You know, when parents have their kids just chilling in those knapsacks at the front on their torso, and the kids just asleep, just dribbling, living their best life. Benny's like, if you want to borrow mine, go for it, because I want to put the child in there. I think I might do the shoulder armor because the shoulders are exposed, even if I got the Hawaiian shirt on. I think it'd just be funny just to have the shoulder armor over the Hawaiian shirt. Got the helmet, got the pulse rifle, got the child. I need to buy dad sandals. Disgustingly ugly dad sandals with white socks pulled up, and probably a belt. Probably his belt with his sidearm in there. Just something like that. And maybe his gloves. So there are just some accessories that I still need to get. But for the most part, because especially now that the child is posable, it just opens up a world of possibilities. If I had him as I originally got him, it just wouldn't look right. Whereas now he moves, like he's got dangle to his limbs, which is, I think, would be funny when you're walking along and he's kind of just like dangling, like a baby does in those carriers. I think it'd just be hilarious. Okay. Got a question here from a Dion Davis. Idea for future, maybe. What about creating the Frank the Bunny mask replica from Donnie Darko? I'd love to see that come to life. Man, I remember seeing so many Frank masks back in the day when I was starting out, like on like prop building forums, horror forums. I have not seen Donnie Darko in so long, but I always remember Frank scared the bejesus out of me. And it wasn't the performance. The performance was great. It was just that costume. It's just so unnerving. Even though it's a bunny costume, just the teeth and all that. So I wouldn't say that personally I'd give it a crack. You know, there are probably plenty of artists out there. I think it would be a fun costume to do though, especially at a con. And it'd be the most comfiest costume. It's just a onesie, and then you're kind of good to go in that respect, I think. Yes, maybe? Okay. Daniel, Jose Fernandez should give you a job. Oh, man. I wish. I really, really wish. Okay, we've got a question from a Brian Greenwell. What's the best / cheapest molding and resin kit to use for beginners? Still Barnes, man. Barnes are great, and your Pinky Sil, you can't go wrong for molding. Molding silicone. Easy to use, 1:1 scale ratio, mix ratio, and I don't know where you are in the world. If you're here, you got to do it in air conditioning, because now that it's getting hotter, you'll literally be pouring the Pinky Sil in to your mold, your box mold or whatever, coating it with something, and it'll start to set. So, look, it's great that it has a quick set time, but if you're in a hot climate, you got to be quick. And Supercast. Like, Supercast is the easiest / best resin ever. It dries a bone white, easy to sand, easy to prime, easy to paint. I've been using Supercast since I graduated high school, which was 2006. I'm getting so old. Oh, God. So, yeah, man, Pinky Sil and Supercast, best way to go. Especially if you're doing box molds. It's just, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, got a question here from a Miss Amy Kelly. Is there any costume you won't attempt even though you really like that particular costume / character? Full-blown Mando. Like typical Mando from season, Chrome armor, and also maybe original armor. Reason being, it's the costume is beautiful. Before he upgrades his Beskar armor, and then after he upgrades his Beskar armor, there's a lot going on. So that and Jack Sparrow. Oh, I still want to do Jack Sparrow. I really want to do Jack Sparrow. But I joined a Jack Sparrow costuming group on Facebook, And there's a website you can link off to that breaks down all the pieces you need for a Jack Sparrow costume. And oh my goodness, there is so much going on. Like wraps, rings, undergarments, sashes, and stuff like that. Even his goatee wig. I want to do it, but it's a big investment. Much like Mando, you've got to get that flight suit, the undersuit, the flight suit. You got to get that down pat. You got to get the aesthetic of it correct. You've got to use the right paints if you want that desired chrome effect, which I am confident at using, like with the Alclad stuff that I used on the helmet. But again, there's a lot going on. I do love the fact that Mando wears Skechers. I don't know if you guys know this, but in the show, the base boot they use is from Skechers. It's the brand. I love that, and I love that they're still doing it old school with getting pre-existing things. They're not making boots from scratch. They're going, hey, those pair of Sketcher boots look like a good base. We'll zhazhu them up, pretty them up, dirty them up, and it works. Absolutely works. Okay. Wear a fanny pack with the holster for Hawaiian Mando. And then my good friend Kamran Dossier got a license for those guns you're wearing. You're a silly duffer. All right. Got a question from Nick. What are some dream cons in the US you want to go to? New York Comic Con. My good friends Josh, Elise, and James, a few years ago, they went to New York Comic Con. They're based in Melbourne, and they went as the Holy Trinity. They went as 1D, Bats, and Soups. And it looked like they had the best time. I've done San Diego Comic Con twice. Once just as a visitor, and the other time as a guest. So much fun. So much fun. But obviously I've done it, so I've ticked that box. Love to go to New York Comic Con. What else? I would like to go... Oh, there's an Anaheim Con. I think. If someone is listening and is like, oh, I know the one. I think it's an Anaheim Con. So, yeah. All right. How else we going? Okay. Are there any Batman villains you would cosplay as? Anything besides the Joker that's been done a billion times? True. I do want to do the Joker. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it my way and do it, like, just different. And it would just be disgusting and gnarly. In terms of other villains, love to do a Two-Face, but that makeup has to be spot on. It can't be... I don't know. I would love just that realism. And I have dear friends here in Sydney who are makeup artists, and they do it justice. Like, I want it just to be disgusting, where people look at me, they're like, "Oh God," vomit in their mouth. So Two-Face, Black Mask, love to do Black Mask. Deathstroke, definitely would love to do Deathstroke, especially the Joe Manganiello Deathstroke. I'm so excited that he came back for the additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League. He's got the mohawk. They're going to follow the Nightmare timeline. They got Leto back to do scenes. I'm so excited. Thank you, Jen. Wonderful Jennifer Lynn Warren. WonderCon. That's the other one I want to do. WonderCon. Okay. Callum Murphy. Ever thought about a con in the UK you want to do? Absolutely, man. Like, I don't know the flagship cons you guys have over there. But yeah, I definitely... And it's just an excuse to go back to the UK. I love the UK. Beautiful part of the world. So, love to go back there, and France as well. Hey, Chris. Been watching since I was 16. I'm 21 now. Thanks for all the fantastic content growing up. Thank you so much, Jamie. That's awesome. Wow. Congrats. And now you can legally have a beer. Cool. All right. So we've got a question. Where'd it go? Question from Keith. Working on a 1/6 scale dinosaur museum. Any advice on storing dioramas? Invest in one of those big Tupperware containers, or a solid, like really sturdy cardboard box that is bigger than the actual diorama piece, and then get styrofoam slotted in on the sides, bottom, top, just so it's not going anywhere. Even if there's dead space in the diorama and nothing is too breakable, maybe get some packing peanuts, as annoying as they are. Cameron Dossier will tell you that. And bubble wrap. I think that's the best way to go about it. Okay. Question from Julian. Hey, Chris, if you could own one movie prop with no price limit, what would it be? Oh! Affleck's Batsuit from BBS. Hands down. hands down. Whether it's screen used or not, or it was just made by Ironhead using the same materials, molds, stuff like that. Definitely Affleck's Batsuit, mounted on a mannequin of Affleck with a faceplate and all that. And if money was no option, I'd have Ironhead make me a Batfleck suit for my size. Because I'm 5'9" and Affleck's 6'4". So he's a big boy. 6'5" in that bat suit probably. So he's a beast. And he's just, as Jose Fernandez said when they were sculpting the muscles for him, Ben's abnormally broad-shouldered. And you can see that. The guy's lost a lot of weight recently, but his shoulders are still massive. He's just got that width on him. All right. What else we got here? Question from Corey Carr, which is a very good one. You're amazing, Chris. Where's that Nightwing suit? So it's probably going to start being made soon by GC5 Effects. So GC5 is doing the urethane armor. And Chris actually messaged me the other day. He goes, do you want me to do the blue insignia? And because Chris has access to what I'm assuming is Imperial Surface to paint the urethane, I said go for it, man. Because if I try, we don't have the proper paints here to paint urethane and have it last. It'll eventually crack, flake off, all that stuff. Plus, Chris does his special mixture where he gets that nice metallic blue like the suit in Titans. So that's coming from GC5 FX. And then I'm probably going to hit up Leather Fashion Valley and get them to custom build a base undersuit to glue the armor onto. And then the eye mask, I'll worry about that later. And the battens and all that, and have like an LED element in there. And maybe cast up little lightning bolts to wrap around so it gives the effect that it's arcing and sparking and all that. So, okay. What else we got here? Guys, these comments are amazing. Thank you for sticking around. This has been a lot of fun. So, I'll be wrapping it up soon, but yeah, I want to answer a few more questions. You guys have been great. Okay. Question from Alan. Have you thought about making the Kruger puppet from Dream Warrior? I'd love to see you... I'd love to send you my version of it. Oh, dude, you made one. That's awesome. I think it'd be fun to do. Absolutely. The hardest part, I reckon, would be sculpting that head. Because I haven't sculpted on that scale. I think I've done it once. And that was back in high school when I was trying to just force myself to learn scale sculpting. After that, like, the body's easy. It's, you do a crude, base body and then you just stuff it. And I think from what memory, it's got string tied at certain intervals of the body, and then you've got the actual marionetting process, and the hands as well. You got, the gloved hand, the ungloved hand. So, absolutely, man. Brandon Mosley, I think you need an 89 Batmobile. Dude, I'll have all the Batmobiles. Hell, I'll have Clooney's Batmobile just quietly. I love that Batmobile. It's so flashy and just so Joel Schumacher-y. It's ridiculous. Rory says hello, my good friend Rory. So Rory was actually... I met Rory for the first time in 2017 at Melbourne Supernova, and Rory's actually the main inspiration for me doing my Red Hood cosplay a couple of years ago. I saw Rory's take. It was very Batfleck-esque and in that Snyderverse. So guys, thank Rory for that. Absolutely. Question from Alex. Hey Chris, did you ever find a cape for the Chris O'Donnell Robin suit? Been watching for 4 years. Alex McDonald, thank you sir. Thank you for watching and putting up with my stupid shenanigans. Haven't found a cape, man, but the suit's just chilling there. I still don't know what to do. I would love to complete this thing with replicas of the armor, like with a belt, neck seal, cape, boots and gloves. The problem is... when you're using urethane replicas, you got to be very careful. You have to back them with felt because the oil from the urethane can affect the foam latex. And I didn't know that until some friends brought it to my attention. You've got to back it with felt so the oil from the urethane doesn't transfer onto the foam latex and then, start the rotting process earlier. So I don't know, man. I'd love to, and it's also matching the paint. The paint's very hard to match. I do want to take this, or just take the torso to Bunnings Warehouse where they got the color scanner and get a color code for the ice blue and the red, and go from there. They'd have to be pretty good replicas though. Like GC5 Effects makes ripper replicas of the O'Donnell belt, the neck seal, and all. Like I need good replica gloves. The gloves are hard to come by, especially the Robin ones. Kilmer ones, fine, absolutely. So. Yeah. Callum Murphy, ever thought about a Power Ranger cosplay? Absolutely, man. The 2017 Power Rangers movie, I'd love to cosplay as one of them. Those suits that Weta did, that's deserving of a chef's kiss. Alrighty, what else we got here? This isn't a question. It's sort of a question, but actually, yeah, it is a question. Did your heart skip 5 beats when your mum spun Grogu around super fast that first time? Yeah, man. This is from Adam. I nearly pooped myself, especially when he flew. And you see my reaction in that video, man. My life flashed before my eyes. I grabbed it like it would have been my own child. Hell, if I had a child, it would probably be sitting there, and the child would go to fall, and then Grogu would go to fall, and I'd grab Goku and then grab the child. Priorities, right? Okay. So this isn't a question, but it's a good talking point. Still have yet to see Black Widow. Hopefully it gets released early next year. So, yeah, obviously in light of what's going on, Black Widow just kept getting pushed back more and more and more. I'm happy that they've set a date for Wonder Woman, and that it's happening on, at cinemas and streaming. I think that, look, studios must get to a point where they're like, it doesn't matter about the money anymore. We got to drop it. We've got to release it and go from there. So it probably would have been a massive call for them, but they just got to do it. So a massive shout out to my good friend Ryan Eaton, who is a severely talented sculptor, molder, and caster. He makes urethane castings look like glass on the inside. So always admired that. Okay, what else we got here? When are we going to see more custom collectibles off you? Jules, whenever I've found one, man, it's not one of those things where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do them anymore. A good one's got to come around. Like a good banger of a custom collectible has to come around. And at the moment, man, there is nothing in my local shops at the moment. It's kind of depressing. Every time I go into a Kmart, Big W, Target, I'll always, go via the toy section if I've got to get clothes or something. And I'm in there and I'm like, there is nothing that interests me. And that's the thing, it's got to interest me, because then it'll transfer well onto video. And people will see it. They'll be like, this guy has no interest in what he's working on in this video. So it's got to be of interest. 100%. Okay. Start wrapping it up soon, guys. But I saw one before. Another one from Nick. Who's on your personal geek Mount Rushmore? 4 people. Adam Savage, who we all know and love. Jose Fernandez of Ironhead Studio. Probably a tie. Like, this counts as 2 people, but because they founded it together, Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. of Studio ADI. And the crew of Odd Studio. I've had the pleasure and opportunity to work at 2, meet 1, and idolize 1 since I was that tall. I'm still that tall. But yeah, that would definitely be my Mount. I like that. Geeky Mount Rushmore. This is an interesting one from Adam again. Nerf is releasing a Mando rifle. Would love to see you customize that. Yes, perfect timing. So, saw that this morning on my news feed. I'm like, there's a custom collectible. So there you go. That's an upcoming custom collectible to answer anyone else's questions. So, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. This has been amazing. It's been an amazing learning curve. Again, apologies for the jitteriness of that video. But like I said, you can go to the Blue Microphone Facebook page and they've got it there ready to go. So a massive thank you to the crew at Logitech for making all this happen, and just that awesome day filming with them, and the end result was just amazing. Very happy with it. And I get very shy seeing myself, but I was on camera. But I was very happy with how that turned out, and we're using this amazing camera, this amazing microphone. My laptop's fan is so loud right now. It's just like, please stop, there's so much going on. So I'm going to give the laptop a break. But guys, thank you so much for just chilling, chatting with me. Thanks for putting up with me showing you Samurai Spawn and just talking nonsense. Definitely want to do more of these now that I know how to use OBS, which has just been amazing. Probably have to have a bit of a different setup next time, but if you're not failing, you're not doing it right. Not that it was a fail, but, you know, a bit of a lag, but that's the nature of the beast sometimes. So guys, I'm going to end this live video now. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Wherever you are in the world, have yourselves an absolute cracker of a day. I hope you're well. Hope you're happy. Be merry. Be silly. And until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.